Hey everyone, and welcome to the final episode of Nerd Central. Yes, I know it's sad, but we don't have to say goodbye. And don't fret, because we have so much more in store for you all. So let's go with a smile. I'm your lovable host, Noah Ferguson, and we have a ton of news to start off today. So let's hop right into it. To start us off, a Minecraft movie has surpassed some expectations of people in terms of the box office, and has even outgrossed Captain America: Brave New World. Also, here's a little fun fact about the Minecraft movie's box office run. It managed to beat out Sonic 3. Congratulations to the new second highest grossing video game adaptation. Keeping up with the film side of news, to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the film's release, Star Wars: Revenge of the Sith is hitting the silver screen again. In fact, it releases today. The movie will be shown in 4DX, which means the viewers will practically be in the movie with how much the seat is involved in reacting to certain effects and giving audiences a very enjoyable experience. If you can, be sure to check out the movie and relive a classic piece of cinema. Moving on to more entertainment news, Marvel and Toho International are coming together to produce an absolute banger of a comic series that releases this July. The comic show Return of the Legendary Kaiju to the Marvel Universe, and the visual showcases many known Marvel characters. This isn't the first time Godzilla has been to the Marvel Universe, and maybe it won't be the last. All I know is if he's anything like his movie version, there will be a ton of destruction in the new comic series. And to wrap up today's news, we jump to the anime side. The hit series JoJo's Bizarre Adventure finally got its announcement of Part 7, and fans are ecstatic for the return of the goofy series. Steel Ball Run was announced to be in production with no given time of an anime release, but an English version of the manga will be released this summer for all fans to enjoy. And that, for the final time, is a wrap on the news. If you enjoyed it, comment down below what your favorite piece of news was. And while you do that, we'll move straight into the fun packs our crew has to offer.
Well, it's over. Hello, I'm Tayden Hensley, and welcome to the finale of Hero to Zero. Now, usually people in their segments talk about their highlights or show their bloopers, but I'm not talking about all that. So instead, I'm going to talk about the development of Hero to Zero, the journey of how the idea of Hero to Zero came to be, all of my trials and tribulations. So, let's start off with the idea. So, how did I come up with the idea of Hero to Zero, you might ask? Well, in the beginning, when I first joined Nerd Central, the original idea for my segment was going to be the origin of everything, where I would talk about the history of anything pop culture related. My first episode was going to be talking about the origin of Power Rangers, but I realized I didn't know what else to talk about, so the idea was eventually scrapped. And then I found out that the name Origin of Everything was the name of a PBS program, so yeah. But then I did a little bit of brainstorming and realized, what if I talk about superhero origin stories, but heroes that not many people know about, superheroes with bad powers. So that idea would eventually become Hero to Zero, and I would make this cool logo. Oh yeah, and this one too. Challenges that I had was just showing myself on camera, because I've always grown up to be camera shy, but I figured out, why not give it a try? And if it's bad, then I'll just do voiceovers again, like I did for Forgotten Games on Gen 2, or Bearcat Sports History for Bearcat Update. But my first episode came out well, so I continued to film myself, and I began to gain more confidence over time. And also, it was a challenge figuring out what heroes I wanted to talk about. I knew that I wanted to talk about Color Kid on the first episode, and I knew that I wanted to make an episode on Yamcha, Forget Me Not, and Magic Eater Lad, because I already knew a lot about them without having to do much research. But everything in between, that was difficult, because there are so many heroes, but not all of them have enough material, because a lot of those heroes are only in about 1 or 2 comic books. For example, the villain episode, Stiltman wasn't originally the villain I was going to be talking about, but originally it was going to be Ice Cream, who has the power to turn into ice cream. But he was only in 2 comics and barely did anything in them. And another villain I wanted to cover was Dog Welder, but I found out that he wasn't a villain. But it gave me another hero to talk about, even if some people don't see him as one. So yeah, that's the story behind Hero to Zero. I hope you enjoyed me yapping about useless heroes and 1 useless villain, and also talking bad about Yamcha for 3 minutes. Ah man, memories. So, hopefully you enjoyed the show, and if you didn't, well, maybe your superpower is just being a hater. So with that, for the last time, I'm Tayden Hensley, and this has been Hero to Zero. Thanks for watching.
What's up, and welcome to the last episode of Slashback, where I break down slasher icons' backstories, what makes them significant, and what makes them unique from the rest. I'm your host, Wiley Goff, and on today's episode, I'll be breaking down the Creeper from Jeepers Creepers. Let's jump right in. The Creeper, who debuted in 2001, and psych, I ain't reading about no Creeper. That dude's boring. He comes around every 23 years to feed for 23 days and then goes away for 23 years again. So instead, I'll be breaking down my top 3 favorite slasher icons. These include Leatherface, Michael Myers, and Captain Spaulding from the House of a Thousand Corpses. Let me tell you why. The reason that Leatherface is in my top 3 all time is because he pioneered the genre, and without him, anybody that I've talked about does not exist. Another thing that I love about Leatherface is that although he's faced different reboots and different entries into his character arc, they all add their own mystique and their own uniqueness to his character. Lastly, the reason I love Leatherface so much is that he's a very unique guy, often using a chainsaw instead of a knife like many of the other slashers do, and using slaughterhouse tactics if he captures them. He also makes masks out of those victims' faces to cover his disfigured face. This adds a unique twist to an already awesome character. My next favorite is Michael Myers, who is arguably the most popular and most recognizable slasher of all time. With his emotionless white mask and blue coveralls, Michael has been dominating the slasher genre, culminating with the most kills amongst any of them. Lastly, what draws me to Michael is that he is very ruthless, especially in his most recent adaptations of him. In the Halloween Kills, which is my personal favorite of his, we see him take out an entire team of firefighters, which is insane and is also one of the best scenes in horror cinema that I have personally seen. For my third favorite icon of all time, it has to be Captain Spaulding from House of a Thousand Corpses. This is because he runs an antique shop in the middle of nowhere and is often asked for directions. This is when he leads the people who ask him for help to his family, who are a bunch of killers. My last reason for liking Captain Spaulding so much is that he's often overlooked in this genre, making 3 appearances starting in House of a Thousand Corpses, moving on to Devil's Rejects, and then making a small appearance in The 3 from Hell. He is truly an underrated goat. Unfortunately, we won't be seeing Captain Spaulding anymore because the actor who played him, Sid Haig, unfortunately passed away not too long after 3 from Hell was released.
Today, guys, anytime. Which one of you geniuses doing the interviewing?
Yeah, I am. Thank you for taking the time to do this. You ready?
I ain't getting any younger.
Those are my top 3 favorite slashers of all time. Drop a comment down below and let me know who yours are. I really hope you enjoyed this series of Slashback. I have been your host, Wiley Goff, and this concludes Slashback.
Northwest Tower Yearbook has dedicated over a century to documenting life on campus and in the Maryville community. The award-winning organization has numerous Pacemaker Awards and a spot in the Associated Collegiate Press Hall of Fame. Learn more about Tower at the handles below.
Hey Tyrell, why don't you tell everyone what we do here?
Well, yeah, of course, because here are alternatives and options. We find uncommon solutions to common problems. For instance, did you know that tinfoil could be used as an alternative to batteries?
Our goal is to find the most effective, efficient, and affordable options for you.
Whether we're in the lab.
So how much do you really know about laundry detergent? Or on the field? We'll do our best
to give you the best
alternatives and options.
Hello and welcome to a special edition of Nick's PSA Reviews. I'm Nicholas Gibbons and I have some PSA-related history, bloopers, and rejected material to show you. Let's start with a little bit of history. So back in the day, when a TV station got its PSAs, they would get it on either film or a tape, much like this one. This is an ASPCA spot featuring John Goodman, and there is no known footage of it on the internet. If I had the means to convert this tape to a digital file, then I would. However, I just don't, and quite frankly, I'm not going to waste 2 hours of anyone's time just for one digital file. In fact, many PSAs back in the day were shot on videotape like this. Although this is just a filter, tape has lower quality than footage shot on things like memory cards and flash memory, for instance. The quality of the new equipment is so much better. To end this portion, I have this to say. Shooting on videotape is like dial-up internet. Does anyone miss it? Oh, hell no. Now, here are some bloopers that I have saved from this past semester. No one looks back fondly on the years they spent inside a parking garage. Hello and welcome back to Nick's PSA Reviews. I'm Nicholas Givens. And this week,
So I decided to not use that version of my week 3 intro because, and actually this is actually a week 3 pack that was shot this way. I decided to not use it because the audio just didn't sound great, and that was because of factors beyond my control. So there's a reason why that ultimately did not get used, and I count it as a blooper in my book.
Oh, now let me introduce a week 7 intro that was shot on actual tape. I decided to not use it for, well, watch.
Hello and welcome back to Nick's PSA Reviews. I'm Nicholas Givens, and this week we'll be diving into some of the Ad Council's drunk driving PSAs, which explains partially why this portion looks like an old home video, as the first one shows a home video of someone named Carol Lee Ledford.
Yeah, I decided to not use that version of my week 7 intro and just shot it using studio equipment and then added a filter in post because it's harder to upscale footage that was shot on videotape than it is to make good footage look grainy. Thanks to Blake Reisner for lending me his tripod to record that, as well as helping with my week 1 shoot, my week 7 shoot, and some rejected material from week 9, which I'll show you now. The scare factor for this one is a 0. I like the juxtaposition of a wedding over a gas station. I find it creative because there is a filter over the wedding, whereas the backdrop of the gas station is left alone. I also like to thank Tyrell Childress, Kelly Sharp, Al Chaplin, Logan Hill, Porter Williams, and Will Murphy for helping make this possible, especially since most of these packs were shot using studio equipment, and to my knowledge are the only packs other than Next Week and Bearcat Sports to even be shot that way. I'm Nicholas Givens. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next semester with a new segment. Have a good one, everyone.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the final episode of Reels and Beats. I'm your host, Noah Ferguson, and we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. And we're on episode 10. Can you guys believe that? So let's not waste any more time and go out with a bang. Last week was Record Store Day, which if you don't know was a day that was founded in 2007 and takes place on a Saturday during the spring season. It's a day filled with exclusive releases that labels and your favorite artists offer, which are limited edition vinyl records. These can include box sets, reissues, or in-store exclusive editions. It's also a day that supports local indie record stores across the globe. Typically, aside from Record Store Day itself, they host in-store events like concerts, DJ sets, giveaways, and much more. The goal of celebrating independent record stores is to support privately owned businesses, instead of massive corporations like Walmart, Target, and Amazon, while also championing the cause of physical media. Though that could be an episode on its own, the point is that these stores more than half the time have those exclusive and rare pressings that people are eager to find and are willing to spend a lot of money on. Overall, RSD is a day for people to gather and support over 1,400 independently owned record stores around the US, and there's many more around the globe that celebrate the same thing that we do. And you bet your ass I woke up before dawn broke at 3 a.m., drove an hour and a half to Kansas City, and waited in line for close to 2 hours waiting on those plastic frisbees. And now you're probably wondering, what could I possibly have gotten? So, let's go check it out. For RSD first, which are pressings that will be released at a later date, I got A Night at the Symphony Hollywood Bowl by the one and only Icelandic jazz singer Leve, whom I like to call the female Frank Sinatra of our generation, and that was limited to 15,000 copies. Along with that, I got 13 Reasons Why star Dylan Minette's band Wallows with their latest EP More, pressed on this cool evergreen and white vinyl. Moving on to the 7-inch vinyl, I got Waxahachie's single with Much Ado About Nothing, Mud, and Next to Me on side B, with a quantity of 3,000. For one of the bigger releases of the day, I got Taylor Swift's Fortnite featuring this year's Record Store Day ambassador Post Malone. And finally, this goes to my favorite pressing I got of the day, is a various artist record called Jazz Dispensary Night Lights. Noted as Saturday night being the loneliest night of the week, Moodsville is your destination. Escape the noise of the city and take in Night Lights. It's simply a compilation album filled with mellow and hauntingly beautiful tunes, pressed on midnight blue vinyl with only 4,000 made globally, I should preface. Well guys, that's all I have for you today, which means this brings us to a close on this series of Reels and Beats. Thank you guys so much for your time and watching these all the way through. Whether you're a family member, friend, or even peer, anything is greatly appreciated. Thank you to my producer Logan Hill for letting me be the host of Nerd Central and for guiding myself and the crew for the past 10 weeks in making this banger of a series. Along with that, thank you to the executive board for guiding and critiquing us in the best way imaginable so we can make the best content for you guys. Tyrell Childress, Blake Reisner, and especially Will Murphy. Thank you guys so much for your time and dedication, and I look forward to seeing where the next year takes us. And guys, for the last time, I've been your host Noah Ferguson of Reels and Beats, your source for all things movie and music news entertainment. Thank you for watching.
Running since 1971, broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Featuring programs and news from National Public Radio, as well as Americana, jazz, and classical music. KXCV 90.5 FM Maryville, KNRW 88.9 FM Chillicothe.
Layup off the left side, but he gets his ball right back as he'll take it down the lane left, up with a shot off the glass and good.
This is why we watch. Every moment, every play, something special awaits. It's not just the victories that make sports special. It's the struggle, the grind, the setbacks, and the comebacks. In season 76, the crew at Bearcat Update aims to once again capture that magic. Capture the latest moments with us every Sunday at 2.
Guys, we had great packs to show and great news to share for you all. But that will be all from the crew and me. If you guys enjoyed us nerding on what we loved, comment down your favorite pack to let us know you want us to return. Leave a like and smash that subscribe button to show your love. And while you're at it, ring that notification bell to never miss an episode from us or KNWT TV. I'm going to go off script here and say thank you to our producer Logan Hill, because without you, the show wouldn't have been revived and be where it was today. And for the final time, I've been your host Noah Ferguson, and this has been Nerd Central. Stay nerdy.